Hello networkers and welcome back to another A&E off topic. I want to make this very quick, but it's something that I want to share as really for me, two worlds combined into one yesterday. So you all know that one, I'm a network engineer. This is why you're here on my channel. And two, that I am a runner. So I've been pretty clear, marathoner, ultra marathoner. So I've talked a lot about that. Well, I'm bringing this up because yesterday, and this has been happening for 24 hours now, that there's a company called Garmin, and Garmin is really known as is a big recognizable company as a runner. They have one of the best, probably the best watches for runners. That I still use their products for heart rate monitoring and things like that. So runners use their products all the time. So they're a very big company. Well, they have been completely down. Their entire network, their call center, their services, everything is down. And they have been down for more than 24 hours. And I remember personally, because right now, my running schedule might be different, but I typically run 6 days a week. So I run Monday through Saturday. And on Sunday, I take a break. I rest, because resting as a runner is critical. Like there's certain people that run every day. More power to you, but I'm 45 and I can't do that. I'd be more cautious about what I do, right? Anyway, so I run basically 6 days a week, right? So 3 days I have heart rate monitoring runs, and then other days I have a speed run, I have a tempo run, and I have a long run day. Could be 10 miles or 15 miles, depends how I feel. I'm not trained for any races. So yesterday was a tempo run for me, right? It was a good run and I came back, and I like to kind of look at my numbers and kind of learn from that. Look at my heart rate when I'm doing something that's more of a harder workout. And I like to get all that synchronized to my Strava account. Strava is what runners also use to kind of look at their runs, their races, their numbers like that. Some people like to be competitive and look at the leaderboards. I don't care about that. I like to look at what I'm doing and what is my numbers. So anyway, I connect my watch, trying to sync everything up. Garmin is down. So okay, I'll give it a couple of minutes, and it didn't work. Well, you know what? I want to get these numbers up because I got other things to do in my day. So I basically just got the actual raw files and uploaded the files myself to Strava. So boom, there we go. But the Garmin network is still down, and people are online panicking. They're frantic, right? I guess that's how runners are. We care about our numbers, our metrics, right? And later on, it basically occurred that their network was probably hit from a ransomware attack, right? We know what ransomware is. Ransomware is basically some kind of a virus that a person, very likely, somewhere in their environment, we do not know the details of that, and they probably will not tell us those details. We know that typically a ransomware is something that a user or someone gets, they open it up, it can spread, and it can affect machines, lock them down, and asking for ransom in Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, any anonymous currency, digital currency. So that's what happens with anything that is anonymous. It can protect your identity for people to do bad things. So that is really bad because Garmin has a lot of moving parts to their business, right? I mean, they have call centers, they have training programs. And they're down for 24 hours because of this ransomware, which means that they're very likely not paying the ransom, and they're probably in the process of restoring their servers. They're still down. I mean, I'm checking in like every hour because I'm very curious to see the results or the status of their network. They're still down. So that kind of made me take a step back and go, well, what is going on in their network to begin with? What is their continuity plan? What kind of disaster recovery do they have? What kind of backup process do they have? What kind of security? What kind of information security do they have in their environment? And I saw this as a huge learning experience of that you need to make sure that your network systems, for example, that you have a particular process of how things are done, right? There's a constant battle between security and convenience. Security does not provide any convenience at all, right? Complex passwords. I don't know what the password is. I gotta do a password reset. It's supposed to be complex. It should not be easy for someone to do things. And a lot of ransomware, not saying all companies, but a lot of ransomware-based attacks is when you have users that have an email, they see something, oh, they click on it. Users aren't savvy. They're not super users like us. Like we know when we look at an email that is a phishing email or a website, we know how to look at that information. Users don't really know that information. So it probably means that maybe their network isn't locked down. It isn't very tight. Their users can access things freely. Maybe they have systems where they can plug into the network and they can just access anything, right? This is the learning experience that basically means the following. You have to lock down every aspect of your network. A lot of network engineers assume that if you have a next generation firewall, you're done, right? I have all the features in it. I have a Palo Networks firewall, right? You have web filtering, application filtering, you have IPS. Those are powerful features that can be enabled and can lock down your network. Those are very effective, don't get me wrong. But you have to go beyond that. So a lot of security implementations involves what we call end-to-end security. This means, yes, you have your firewall intact. So you have that, beautiful. But you have also things happening on the endpoints themselves. They have to be locked down. There has to be security agents installed on those particular systems and scanners on there and particular privileges on those systems, where those users cannot install anything without authorization from the IT staff. It should be like that. And that the network should only be composed of authorized equipment. You can't take your laptop and just plug any laptop into the network. It should be locked down. These are things that you can learn from of really locking things down, because you can see the dangers of what can happen if you don't. You could be down for 24 hours. And this can and guess what? This affected the actual stock. You know, the stock price for Garmin, it went down. Not like a little bit though. But for me as an investor, I'd be thinking like, yeah, you make good products and all that, but I do not know what is happening with your infrastructure. So this could have an impact, because if it's taking you more than 24 hours to recover and to restore, there's some things that I don't know how your network is set up. It could be very loose, cannot be very locked down, and I'm hoping it's a learning experience for Garmin and that they get back on track. But this allows us to also understand, to get the kind of learning that we need to do, and how to make sure that we're locking down our networks completely from end to end. It's a long video, it's about 8 minutes, but I have to record that with what is going on right now, because I thought it was very relevant for me as a network engineer dealing with security and firewall products, just like many of you, and of course me as a runner, and me being affected by this problem, and of course it all exploding in the midst of a COVID-19. There's other videos I want to record. It's been a long time since I recorded anything. Things have been pretty hectic, but I will save all of that for a different day. Be safe, be good, and keep networking.